Hi everyone, welcome back. We're going to look at the pentatonic scale today, and you may wonder, why did I not do this sooner? The reason is this video course has all been about music theory, and you're best off starting your journey on music theory by looking at the major scale, as we did, and then progressing through, and then finally looking at how the pentatonic scale relates to the major scale. Also, I made an assumption that many of you may know at least one pentatonic pattern already. Just in case though, I'm going to go through all the patterns today and explain the theory behind them, and I'm going to tell you something most people don't know about pentatonic scales, which is that there's actually more than one you can use in every key. The pentatonic scale is so named because penta means 5, and there's 5 notes in this scale, derived from the natural minor scale, which looks like this. Now the pentatonic scale is the 5 best notes from that scale. By best, I really mean the safest notes, the ones that don't care if you're in, say, the Dorian mode or the Phrygian mode or the Aeolian mode. They're safe notes. We also like this scale because it's comfortable to play and it's easy to make cool solos with it. Here's pattern 1 of the pentatonic scale, the A minor pentatonic scale. So I played the root note on the 5th fret, that's an A. This C here is the minor third, that stretches a minor third. Then I've got a 4th, a 5th, a minor 7th, and back to the root note. And I do the same again. So that was 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, then 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8, and in reverse 8, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5. Now many of you will already know this scale, and you may even know that this is the note of A, the root note, as is this one here and this one. They're kind of your safe notes, the ones that always sound resolved. However, did you also know that that pattern fits over this chord here? This is an A minor chord using an E minor shape. Whenever you see that chord, that pattern will always fit, especially if this chord is your tonal center, if you're in the key of A minor. In a previous video, I talked about the minor CAGED system, and it just so happens that the pentatonic scale is hiding within that system. Pattern 2 looks like this. 8, 10, 7, 10, 7, 10, 7, 9, 8, 10, 8, 10, and in reverse, 10, 8, 10, 8, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10, 7, 10, 8. Awkwardly, it doesn't start on the root note. The root note's here and here. But it does join in and overlap nicely with pattern 1. So you can do this kind of thing. Pattern 1, slide into pattern 2, and slide back to 1. Maybe over again, and so on. Now this does fit over a chord, but it's kind of awkward. It's this kind of D minor shape here, and if I put a bar there as well, it's really awkward. I don't really need to play that chord. As long as I know it's there, I can visualize it in my mind, and then I know pattern 2 always fits over that chord. Pattern 3 looks like this. 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 9, 12, 10, 13, 10, 12, and in reverse, 12, 10, 13, 10, 12, 9, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10. The root notes are here, and the chord, the pattern fits over this awkward A minor chord, this little triad here, or this one. Pattern 4 looks like this. 12, 15, 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 13, 15, 12, 15, and reverse, 15, 12, 15, 13, 14, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12, 15, 12, and fits over our good old A minor shaped bar chord. This is a chord we use all the time, so it's a really nice thing to know that pattern 4 is always around it. We can be playing this chord, and suddenly play pattern 4 around it. Pattern 5 looks like this. 15, 17, 15, 17, 14, 17, 14, 17, 15, 17, 15, 17, and reverse, 17, 15, 17, 15, 17, 14, and again, 17, 15, and again. And it fits over a very awkward G minor-y sort of shape bar chord of A minor. You're never going to want to play that, but knowing it's there is enough to know there's a pattern that fits over it. The root notes are here, here, and here. Now you can join all these patterns together, they all kind of overlap. So you don't have to play in boxes, you can play in a kind of horizontal fashion, like this. I could play pattern 5, slide to pattern 1, pattern 2, 3, 4, 5, back to 1. I've written here the A natural minor scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. The formula for that scale, when compared to an A major scale, is 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7. The minor pentatonic scale is specifically the 1, the flat 3, the 5, and the flat 7, A, C, D, E, G. The great thing about the minor pentatonic scale is it works over the minor modes, Aeolian, Dorian and Phrygian. It's like a one-size-fits-all scale. You don't have to worry too much about modes. That's one of the reasons we love the pentatonic scale. The harmonised A minor key has these chords: A minor, B diminished, C, D minor, E minor, F and G. It just so happens that the three minor chords have pentatonic scales associated with them, and we can use all three of them. Look here, the A minor pentatonic scale has these notes, A, C, D, E, G, and this one is the best sounding one. Then you've got these slightly weird but usable pentatonic scales, all of them which have notes that belong to the A natural minor scale. So that's right, you can actually play three pentatonic scales in a minor key, and they will all work. Some of them sound better than others. Just to prove this works, I've put an A minor backing track in my looper here, and I'm going to play three different pentatonic scales from the same place. A minor, predictable and sounds good, it works. D minor sounds a bit weird, but it works. I'm going to use pattern 4. Basically, I'm thinking of this chord as my landmark, this D minor here. And then pattern 3 for E minor, using this little E minor chord, or this root note as my landmark. Definitely not as nice as A minor, but it's not wrong. Watch what happens when I mix and match all three. So I'm going to play, say, D minor first, back to A minor, E minor, back to A minor. Now essentially what we're doing there is we're actually, by mixing those three, we're basically ending up with a natural minor scale. So you might think, what's the point then? Well, the point is, when you play pentatonic scales, you don't play the same licks you would in a natural minor scale. The ergonomics don't allow it. We end up playing slightly differently. So it's nice to throw some spice in your playing by playing and thinking pentatonic. Personally, I tend to use the predictable pattern most of the time and occasionally just add natural minor to it. But if I'm feeling really brave, I'll add the other ones, plus what's called the blue notes, which takes us away from a pentatonic scale and gives us a blues scale. But I'll do another video all about that, all about what I call combination blues licks. Just so you're comfortable with the idea of playing this in different keys, let's pick a random key, say E minor. Now pattern 1's everyone's go-to pattern. In fact, some people learn that scale and they never learn any other scale ever again. And this is what it looks like. Pattern 1 would start from this E here, or over this E minor chord, so on. Okay, but you could play any E minor pentatonic pattern either like this. You could piece them together. Pattern 1, if that's there, pattern 2 would be next to it, pattern 3 would be next to that. But you're always relying on the previous pattern to do that. I'd rather you could just go and slide or move into any pattern just like that, using root notes and using chords. So in E minor, we use this root note here, but why not do something like, say, pick an E minor chord like that one, and I know pattern 4 fits over that, so I can play a little solo right there. Or I could use this note of E minor, or this chord of E minor, or this chord of E minor, or this chord of E minor, and all the associated patterns that go with them. So let's try this. Let's pick another random key. Let's go key of B minor. So I'm going to play the first B minor chord that comes into my head. This one here. Pattern 4 always fits that A minor shape. And I've got a little solo. I could play this B minor chord. Pattern 1 always fits over that. I could slide into 2 from there. Okay, I could carry on. I could go pattern 2. Pattern 3. If I'm getting lost at this point, I can think, hang on a minute, I've got a B here. Pattern 3 always fits around this root note when I'm playing this side of it. Or I've got a B minor chord, a little triad, and I know pattern 3 fits over that. So whenever I'm moving around the neck, when I first learned this years ago, I kind of pieced it together by going pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, and joining them together. And that's perfectly fine. It's a good place to start. But eventually you'll want to be able to move across the neck and jump to any pattern as you choose. And to do that, you'll need to know your root notes across the whole neck really well, and you'll need to know your chords really well. And you're probably going to want to start with the familiar chords like the E minor shape or the A minor shape, and know that pattern 1 is there and pattern 4 is there in A minor. And then eventually start thinking about other shapes that you might not want to play. Like, I don't really want to play an A minor like this, but I know that there is a pattern that fits over this. Pattern 2 fits over that chord. Anyway, I hope that was useful too. If so, please click like and subscribe. Thank you.